Hey guys, this video today is a quick guide on using Discord, which is our communication device of choice. It's a big step up from Skype and Vent, basically like Facebook with voice combined. So it makes everything all available in one spot. It's got great sound, it's free, so there's no server cost to anyone. It's something that's vital to have for our guild. So if you need to install it, you just go to discordapp.com and you can either run it in a web browser, or I suggest downloading for Windows so that you actually get the full app. So this is what your basic Discord server looks like. This is the Exalted one. I just want to point out a few things on the page that can make it a lot easier to navigate around. Starting on the left hand side at the top, you've got direct messages. So that's where you can actually send a message to anybody in the game, or even if they're not online. If you can see their name, you simply have to type, for instance, going to Dealman at DIL, and you can see Dealman, and then typing the message that you want to send, and that'll send a private message to that person. And you can have your own conversation that no one else can actually see, where you get a similar page where you can share stuff and do whatever you need to do. At the top here, this is all your server list down the left hand side. And the beauty about this is that so many different groups have made Discord servers that you can actually access whatever you want and be talking to somebody live about different things. For instance, we can go to the WoW Economy site, the Druid site. Now this is where you get your best information, because you've got a ton of active Druid players all talking about what the latest stuff is. So for instance, on here you can see down the left hand side here, they've got General, Balance, Feral, Guardian. Let's say we want to go into the Guardian one. That's all a list of just the current chatter in the group. On the right hand side up the top here, this is a pinned message, and if I click on this, it'll generally take me to shortcut links to the latest information of what you need to know for your class. So every site is a little bit different in that way, but generally the pinned messages for each of the specs, and you can find out what gear you should be running, what talents, how to sim yourself, trinket guides, all the latest stuff up to date. And if you have any other questions after that, then you can simply type in here and you've got access to a whole heap of Druid players who potentially know their class very well and can give you some really good advice on how you can improve your gameplay. So as you can see here, I've got a whole heap of servers that I'm joined up to. Wowhead, Weak Auras. It's unlimited the amount that you can actually join up and to talk. So don't be afraid to grab some extra servers. That's the other good thing about Discord. You can actually join just from a simple invite link, and once you do that, then you're basically in there and got access. You don't have to be worrying about what the IP address is or things like that, like we had to do with Vent. It's very quick and easy to join different servers. On the left hand side here, now this is an upgrade that Discord has done over the time, and that's now added categories into our list on the left hand side. So beforehand we used to have everything open, and of course, because I had a lot of different sections, you'd be hanging off the bottom. You couldn't see everything. So what the categories has done is allowed us to combine everything up, and it actually makes it very, very easy then to see where there's new information that you need to access. So if something's come up that you haven't seen since the last time you were on, it shows by this little white button on the side here, and you can see the Wowhead news is showing up in the guild communication. So then you can go on there, click on the Wowhead news, and read the latest items of what you have. So starting out at the top, this is our welcome page. This is where people need to come when you first join the server and have a bit of a browse through about what our guild is all about. And these sort of blue links here will take you to the direct things on the left hand side. So if you want to skip through, if you're looking for a particular thing like the rating roster or things like that, you can click on that directly, and it'll search in this left hand side and bring you to the correct page. On the right hand side here, this is a list of all the players that are online. You can see different players are playing different games currently, but they have Discord open, and that's a very important thing so that you do keep up to date. Discord is something that's should be open a lot of the time. just in the background rather than being something that you only log in when you're talking voice. Discord is so much more than just voice. It's a full communication hub. Get into the habit of turning it on every couple of days and just sort of seeing if there's new information, raid changes or something that's happening in the guild, things like that. This is all communicated through Discord now because people have access to it. There's a phone app that you can get as well, so you can access Discord on there, and you can simply, if you're running late, you're expecting to come to raid, but something's come up, you can let us know via the Discord app, and we can see it. This is where it's better than the in-game mail. You don't have to log into WoW and then send an in-game mail to the GM or anything. Anyone can see this, and we can communicate at any time. So you've also got different roles here: GM, our raiders, our members, guests from other guilds, former members, a number of these roles, so that we still have some balance between what information is released to what people. There may be guild things that we are talking about that we don't want everyone to see, so these roles actually assign what pages you can see. So these ones down the bottom here, for instance, name and group to assign. They won't be able to see basically anything at all because I don't know who they are. You ever see people like this, if they're a friend that's just joined, or if you're down in this sort of name and group to assign, or just online with no role, then you need to contact Healtrees, and then I can give you a role, and that way it'll give you access to all the pages that we have here. The top hand side here, you've got a mute button. So basically what this is going to do, it'll inform you whether there's something new that's come up. So you can see, for instance, here on the Wowhead, I've got a red number 1 there telling me that there's one thing there, one mention that I need to look at. So when I click on that, here's the red one again. So it's showing in a giveaway. So they must have a new giveaway that they've shown to everyone to join up. And then because I've now looked at that site, that's gone. Some of these sites here, will have active sound, so that every time somebody posts, you'll get a ding. So you can go through and mute the server as such, or unmute certain sections if you want to know about the announcement but not about the general chatter. The next button is pinned. Now, pinned messages are basically a shortcut to the most important things that are on the page. So, for instance, if we go to the Paladin one, and I want to look at protection, okay, there's so much here that is being talked about. If I go to the pinned messages, it will show me the most important things and where to go. And then here's a Paladin guide. So if I click on that, it'll jump and search in this list to where it is, and then I can click on that and read up the information of what the Paladins have to talk about. So always check the pinned messages on any of your pages just to see if there's something that stands out over the top of everything, because there's a lot of information available there. And the next one's just whether you show or hide your members list. I always leave it open so that I can see who's on, where they are about. If you can contact them, don't worry about the tapping in the background, that's just all. You can do a search as well from the user, or searching for a certain topic. The @ mentions, like I discussed before, on the bottom. And then down in the bottom left hand corner, this is your individual settings. So you've got your mic, your headphones, so you can mute your mic, unmute, you can deafen if you're away, so that people can know that you're not listening or talking at the moment. And then you can bring up your user settings. Now this gives you different options in here where you can go through the privacy and the different voice and video settings. So you can have push to talk or voice activity, what your shortcut keys are. They're working on video and stuff now as well in Discord. So Discord's constantly evolving because there's so much support behind it. They're getting bigger all the time, so there's going to be more stuff coming as we go along. You can choose if you have your overlay. I have mine in the top left hand corner, and just so that it's a small name and it's only when they're speaking. So in a raid, if somebody says something, I can see quickly who is speaking and not just a whole list of names all the way down. You can choose notifications, set your keybinds up. There's a whole heap of different options that are in here. Your voice and video is probably the most important. Choosing your devices and stuff like that. Got an issue with your mic not working and things like that. Generally, you have to set specific input devices. If your default's not working and not actually giving you the right thing, then you may need to drop that down and choose the right setting. So that's a basic overview of Discord, what the different areas mean, and then we can start to go through what some of the features I've added to Discord for Exalted so that we can make sure that our server is very useful to everyone. Okay, so on the left-hand side here, this is our welcome page. We've got all the different pages, quick links. Next, we've got announcements. So these are announcements that I might send out with different things that are happening. Can't type or anything in there. That this is just for the guild and add everyone message, and generally you'll see that will pop up with a number down on the bottom. Discord, you'll see a number on here, and that's just alerting you to say, hey, look, there's a message here that people want you to read, so check it out. I've got on here a heap of different Discord links. I've got a one for guild members, so this is people who have already joined the guild and are looking at being a regular member of the guild. This is a temporary link, so if you're doing a pug group for some reason and you need to use voice communications, you can use our voice, that's fine. They'll come in as a pug when they enter. That's a temporary link so that it will expire on them, so we'll only give them access for the day. They won't be able to come in 3 weeks' time and cause any grief. Then I've got a list of some of the Discord channels. As you can see, some of them have expired, but I can update that. And you can go through here and simply go to any of these, and that's the best resource to check out what the current meta is for your class, and with any changes of buffs or nerfs that your class may have had, what the new trinkets are going to be coming into the next raid. It gives you a really good idea of what the current best players are relying on just one person's view on Icy Veins or Wowhead. This gives you access to hundreds of druids or mages or whichever your class is to nut out what is the best. And if you're wanting to join any of these servers, you'll see the difference here of I have joined this one individually, so the Dreamgrove, that's the Druids. The Mardoom one, I haven't joined yet, so you can sort of see that. If I click on join, now that's added Mardoom to my list of servers, and I've got access to it. So very, very easy. Down the bottom here as well, I've also linked a heap of other useful Discord services. So the WoW Economy's a great one if you're into the auction house and things like that. Icy Veins, Raidbots, Raider.io. There's lots of different ones, and you'll constantly find when you're looking at different websites and stuff like that, more and more people are making a Discord server because they're so useful. What you can have on the server and the instant access to people. I've also done another website link. So this has got a heap of the major websites that I use, analysis of our raids and player performance and things like that. Different things that can actually help you improve your gameplay. So if you're looking at specific links, like we've got our roster sheet here, got our guild logs. If you're looking at analysing, one of the Warcraft logs, in a better way, you can do that, with things like WoW Analyzer. Check My WoW used to be a popular one, not updated anymore, so soon be out of date, useless. Weak auras, add-ons, gold making sites. The list goes on, and there's a lot of information that can be gained. And feel free to ask guildies, to check in these sort of links, because generally somebody will have an idea of how to help you out with whatever you're looking at. In the guild communication, this is our guild chat, so this is our conversations from last night, my terrible internet speeds. This is where, if you're wanting to type anything basically to let the guild know, this is our main open area, and this is a section that can't be seen by unassigned roles. So, this is only guildies that can read this. Our resources are if you've got little things that you think may help each other. Zindy's linked a macro here for banishing. It just gives you an easy area to put something to show others that maybe that you find helpful and may be useful to others. Wowhead News. This is a webhook directly to Wowhead, so every time there's a new story put up on Wowhead, we get alerted in here that there's new Wowhead news. So on the left hand side here, you can see that the hashtags, they indicate text channels, and then you've got your siren icons, and that indicates voice channels. So if I click on there, I've joined a voice activated channel, and you can have a chat with whoever you like in the guild and get to know people. If you're wanting to leave the channel, you've got connection info here that shows you, what your ping's like if you're having Discord lag. Otherwise, you can just disconnect. and now you're out of a channel. No one can hear you talking or anything like that unless you actually join one of the channels. Here we've got the rating section. For those people that want to join our raids and stuff like that, we've got a lot of information here that you can go through. Rating 101, something that I'm brand new that I'm working on, just to give everybody an idea of the expectations and the minimum efforts needed before coming along on the raid, and making sure that you're being a useful contributor to our progress and not just a carry, basically. Essential add-ons. This will give you a heap of the links of add-ons that I feel are vital in improving your gameplay as we go into raids. Raid roster. This is a link which is very, very good at showing what our current team is up to. Gives a good list of everyone's eye level, the traits, how many mythics they've done for the week, world quests, and you can go from here and we can see what tier pieces people have, all the different information, what mounts they own, pets, things like that. We can see a roster and a quick breakdown to show what our tier tokens are like. So we're pretty even on our tier tokens with the list of people that we've got here. And we've got a couple to add, Sage and Cavoli are two more to add in here, so then their information is updated as well. And we can see here, like all the Pantheon trinkets of what we've got. No Aman'Thul showing because I've only got mains listed here. I can subscribe to these guys through a Patreon and actually get an extra team sheet that I can do, and then that way I could put the rest of your alts and things like that. If you're interested in this sort of information on alts, then we can get that done. And here it's showing all the different things for an individual, so you can simply choose on here and swap over to a different player, and you can sort of see, yep, these are the different legendaries that he's owned and or had active in his bag and stuff when he's logged out. There may be some that aren't listed here that are sitting in your bank, and that's just because it hasn't seen that you do have it. So Legion roster is something that's very, very good. This is another great spot in the roster, so I can show you what your progress is, and you can be keeping a track as to what your performances are like and things like that. Rating news. This is another webhook to Raider.io. Raider.io is another version of WoW Progress. It's a lot more up to date in the look and feel of it. And in here you've got a heap of different things. The dungeon invitationals, Mythic Plus, you can look at the raid rankings, see what bosses they've killed and things like that. You can look up yourself, you look up our guild. It's a very interactive and a step above what information WoW Progress shows you when it comes to who's killing what and when. This will also link at the start of each week. When you get a new set of affixes for Mythic Plus, it'll tell you what the new affixes are if you're not sure. SimCraft Bot, very simple way to give yourself a sim without actually having to extract all your information. This will just look up what your current setup is and give you a sim report as to what sort of numbers you should be capable of under the perfect sort of situation. And then that gives you an idea of how close you are to doing it. Antorus Guide videos in here will normally link what strats and things like Fat Boss or Signs of Kalani, other foe guilds, anyone that's doing a guide video that's useful to us and is going to help us out. Our weak auras, this is where I link any of the decent weak auras packs that we have for going into Antorus. So these are the packs that I add. Gives you the full icon list of each of the abilities and things like that to help out in raid. So that's always an important one to have. Warcraft logs. This is just another webhook that links to show when I've done a new log. So last night, for instance, when we first started, I created a little log, and I generally do live logging so that on the night, sometimes you'll hear me not say much straight after a death or something. And that'll be because I'm looking at the second screen, and I've been going through Portal Keeper looking at what happened, where the deaths were, why did we die, or did people do interrupts, things like that. So the live logging is very handy to sort of see what's happening as we go, and it sort of updates at the end of each boss and the end of each sort of wipe, basically. So I can just refresh the page and see the next wipe. Exalted Kill vids, I've been starting to delve into the video editing and uploading to YouTube a lot more lately, so producing my view because I record each night's gameplay. I've been recording our first kills, so I've uploaded the Mythic Gorothi and Mythic Fellhounds kill videos for us. This is our general raid chat. The PTT here is standing for push to talk. So at the moment, I'm using voice activated to make this video. If somebody came into that raid chat channel with me, they wouldn't be able to hear anything because I don't have my push to talk button pressed down. It just makes things a lot easier. When you have 30 people in the same chat channel, you're not getting the excess background noise that you don't need. Bunker is just the officer chat and text. I've also done some groups here, so you've got some 5-man groups. So quietly wanting to work with people and get Mythic Plus done, and you don't want any interruptions, you can jump down in here and it's only the 5 that are in there that can hear you. No other guildies can jump in and be talking about the latest craze on the Kardashians when you're trying to concentrate on things. Pug's Life is just the one for if you do happen to have a group that you're trying to work with pugs, use that site there. Pink Ladies is something that I've made just for the women of the guild, where they can have their own little section away from the prying eyes of men and can chat about all the things that we do wrong if they want to. So that's just a basic guide over what our Discord server looks like, how to use it. As you can see here, it's quite easy to see when there's new things come up and where to go in. You don't actually have to have, like if somebody jumps in and is sitting in a raid chat, you'll see a couple of little avatars here to show that, there's some people talking in there. Then you can use the drop down box and sort of see, what's happening, who's in the channel, things like that. If you're wanting to add something in here, it's a basic message that you can place in there. If you're wanting to add a photo, just this plus button at the side will open up a page. It'll open up a box and you can insert whatever photo you want. If you want to add an emoji, then on the right hand side you can add emojis. If you have any other questions regarding Discord or things that you're wanting to add, stuff like that, then hit me up. I'm happy to go through and help people out with it. Cool. Okay. Hopefully that's helped everyone out. Like I said, if you've got any other questions, let me know. We'll talk through it. But hopefully that should give you a really good understanding of what's capable in Discord at the moment and how we can use that to make our guild a great place to be. Cool. Thanks for listening.